Take a step aside here. There is quite a bit of military members and their families in line because of this government shutdown. We're in day 9 of it, and they're here for a food pantry. There's all sorts of food that is available. And I spoke with some military member spouses, and I spoke with some department heads here at the ASYMCA on why this is so important. What's the difference in the amount of people that you've seen from today to previously?
So when we first started coming, there definitely wasn't this amount of people. It was a lot, but it wasn't this amount to where it wrapped around the building. But lately it has been a lot. Like we were here last week and we were in line for like 2 hours.
In a normal week, we usually run out of food around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Last week we ran out of food about 10:30.
What in the name of Code Blue in America's episode are you making me do this time? Really? Are we for real in this country?
Don't look at me. I'm not the producer.
Okay, guys, picture this. A food bank lined up with U.S. military members who didn't get a paycheck this week. Yep. Our brave men and women in uniform, trained for combat, now battling for canned beans and day-old bread. Support our troops, they said. Nobody mentioned in line at the pantry.
This is sad, really. Meanwhile, Argentina just scored a $20 billion bailout from, you guessed it, U.S. taxpayers. Yeah, your money just packed its bags, grabbed a tango hat, and said adios on a one-way flight to Buenos Aires.
No one really knows why Argentina got it. Maybe the IMF confused it with I'm my friend? Or maybe Washington thought Argentina was the 51st state. Either way, someone out there is sipping Malbec on your dime.
Is this what a so-called Christian nationalist agenda looks like? Holier-than-thou politics with an empty offering plate. The government's got scripture in one hand and an IOU in the other.
Yep. So, if soldiers are begging for meals, what hope is there for civilians who don't wear boots or badges? But hey, they told us America would be great again. Guess it depends on which America you're standing in. And that's the cold truth on Code Blue in America. Only on OGM News.
So, military on a food bank line after not getting their paycheck. It's funny that the military are not getting their own paycheck. And it's not only about the military. Every federal worker in the US are not getting their paycheck. That's so funny, devastating. That is so embarrassing. Now, the shutdown stopped Washington, but it also stopped paychecks. It only stopped the Washington office, it stopped even the paychecks. Now, in the scene that shocked the nation, uniformed U.S. soldiers, American defenders are lining up at food bank. They trained to face foreign enemies, not anger at home, not hunger, because anybody, as I said it earlier, food is the basic need for anyone. Nobody is too strong for food. This is the heartbreaking truth of Americans' forgotten warriors. I'm your host, Kifa, and this is Global Tell. Subscribe below and tell me in the comment that what do you think about a soldier lining up for food? A soldier lining up for food. How is that embarrassing? This year, October, the US government shuts down. That's fine. Federal workers are flashed in this clause, and for the first time in the years, soldiers' pay is delayed. No warning, no timeline, just silence.
Military members are now being forced to line up at food banks because Donald Trump shut down the government and they are not receiving a paycheck. Yeah, our brave men and women in uniform forced to line up at food banks because Donald Trump keeps lying about this government shutdown. Remember, they control the House, they control the Senate, they control the presidency, they control the Supreme Court, they control all these government agencies, and they still cannot keep the government open. So MAGA, is this America being great when our military has to line up at food?
One Marine in the North Carolina said, I've served 3 tours overseas, but I never thought I'd be standing in a line for food. Like you are in high school. Even nowadays in high school, kids just go and sit on the dining hall, on the table. They brought them food there and they eat from there. But now the Marine, the soldier, the US protector, defenders are lining up just to get some food. This is, I don't know. So, military families rush to banks, checking up again and again. The balance was not even moving. It's still where it was. Okay, let's get this clear. Okay, here is the reality that most Americans don't see. An entry-level services member earns around $2,200 a month after all the tax being cut off. Barely enough to cover rent, fuel, and food in 2025 this year. Because with this economy of Trump, this man can't be able to serve you the way you expect. And maybe somebody has family like 4 members of the family, you have to take care of them. It's not all about food and housing. There's also school fees in the same amount of money. When that income stops, even for one pay cycle, families fall apart. Bills piles up. Credit card max out, because today having a house in America is a luxury. Today having a 3-day meal in America is a luxury. You feel me? Today, like standing on your own veranda, that this is my home, this is my house, you don't pay rent. It is a luxury in America.
So not only is Commander Kanklepuff trying to violate the Posse Comitatus Act by putting our military on the streets to use them as the police force, but under this government shutdown, the military is not being paid. Food banks have been set up across the country in order for our military to be able to have food for their families. Not only is this unacceptable, but this is abhorrent at best. The fact that our military now is facing a crisis by not being paid, but now they're forced to stand on food bank lines just to be able to obtain food.
More than 700 military families lined up to get a little help this morning. The Military Family Advisory Network hosted a food drive at Military Circle Mall to help combat food insecurity. And Dana Smith stopped by and has a look at how it went.
It's a different way to thank military families for their service and sacrifice.
I had this out-of-body experience earlier today, just seeing the cars line up. We shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't need to be hosting these food distribution events for military families.
So I just saw a video about a food bank in Fort Hood, Texas, with a long line of military members in uniform. Military members are not getting paid right now. The folks that defend this country are not getting paid. Is that crazy or what?
No paycheck, no nothing. No paycheck, no rent. No paycheck, no school fees. No paycheck, no fuel. No paycheck, no gas. Without money, you can't do anything in America today. It ain't about poor choices. It's about survival. At the end of the day, you have to make a living. You have to eat. You have to survive in this whole thing. Feel me? So the Pentagon can't continue operating essential missions, but pay is frozen. You know, somebody is working, but they are forcing them to work while they ain't paying them. Meanwhile, defense contractors, billion-dollar firms keep receiving funds under long-term contract. That's the irony. That's the funny part. The people who built the weapon still get paid. But the one who operated the weapon don't get paid. The one who goes to the battlefield don't get paid. The one who is suffering too much is not getting paid. But the one who is making the weapon is getting paid. Funny world.
Well, apparently there has been soldiers in line for food at the food bank. People were like sending video or like showing videos of soldiers in line trying to get food because of the shutdown of the government. And since the government shut down, like they're not getting paid. So like government workers are not really getting paid. So you're telling me all this nonsense with like, deploying like soldiers and like doing all this craziness, you still can like pay your people by doing things that they have no business doing? Like, mind you, there's nothing wrong with going to the food bank. Like if you need food, obviously, like go get your food. I feel like these people should be paid like so much more. The veterans should be paid so much more. Even like active like soldiers should be paid. Like, why do you have your soldiers in food bank? Like, and then there's a video going around airports where like Secretary of Homeland Security is like stating how TSA's like Democratic Party are refusing to open the government because they don't want to give people like free healthcare, like pretty much blaming the Democratic Party for like the shutdown of the government. But what they fail to understand is that the Republican have won all the branches. Like the Democratic Party literally don't have any power. Like they can try, like this is like one of their ways of trying to have power is like shut this shit down because you're not listening to us. So now we all just gonna stay here like buffoons. Like pretty much saying like TSA's worker needs to like get paid in order to do their work, and Democratic Party are the reason why they can't get paid. But mind you, you guys own the whole branch. Like you want all of the branches. So how is the Democratic Party the reason why? It's like you're just lies, and like the people who believes in, the people who don't will continue to ask questions and talk about it because.
Hello and good morning. In today's episode of As the White Hood Turns, have y'all seen this video that's floating around of military members going to a food bank to get food? Have you seen it? Go look it up. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the people in the comments of that video. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's probably a bunch of MAGA. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. You can't convince me otherwise. These people are railing, not that our military personnel are having to go to a food bank to get food. They're railing because they say things like, with all the discounts y'all get, how come y'all don't have any money management skills? Having been military adjacent myself, I can tell you that until you make a certain rank, E5, E6, and especially if you have children, more than one, and you're only like an E3 or E4, you're not making any money. Yeah, you get housing, but you still got to make them ends meet, and them ends don't be meeting all the time. So a lot of military personnel have to have SNAP benefits, and they have to utilize other resources to survive. But I'm just shooketh that y'all are supposedly, allegedly supporting the veterans and the real patriots. When I tell you, MAGA, y'all ain't shit. Because your president said he didn't care. Syphilitic Sid said he didn't care if they got paid or not. And you know what he did? He went golfing. He released a video of him and his granddaughter golfing, where he was telling people on the golf course, you're welcome, your taxes are going down. But the people on the golf course are millionaires. So of course, their taxes are going down. MAGA, y'all be worried about the wrong thing. I'm telling y'all. And when I keep seeing these people, these psychologists, these therapists, all these damn people be talking about, oh, don't call them names. We need to be able to meet them.
Food banks near bases report recorded demand at Fort Hood alone. Some pantries serve over 600 military families a week. A week you're serving like 600 families. God damn it. What a month. I think this is the third week the government has been closed of America. And the last time Trump closed the government, it was around 2018 December, and it was opened at around 2019 January. It was only shut down for 35 days, and it was a disaster in America. You feel me? So the whole thing about American to think of opening the government, or else people will not be able to survive in America anymore. American heroes are depending on donated canned goods to get through the month. They're depending for somebody to give them aids. America can depend on some countries to get some aids. I think American don't even produce anything. American don't have anything to produce. American, they import everything from other countries.
We need to be real clear about what this government shutdown is about. Democrats in Washington are trying to save your affordable care tax credit. If you are a working couple making just above $85,000, your tax credit will go away under Trump's big bullshit bill. Republicans are okay with that. That means your health care will triple. Your out-of-pocket will go from about $8,000 to $20,000 plus. That's where we are. That's what this is about. Republicans wanted a tax cut for very, very wealthy people, and the rest of us get screwed over. Make no mistake, this is not about migrants getting health care. It doesn't happen in Texas, doesn't happen in any state in this nation, doesn't happen in federal law. It's all a bullshit lie. This thing is about paying billionaires and millionaires.
There's got to be a cruel irony to you and your family being flown out of your state just to be put on display as a threat, and then sit down in DC all for a rich, experienceless asshole to tell you not to be fat and shave every day, and then to be ordered to police a neighborhood when that's literally not your job, all just to end up in the same food pantries of those you've been patrolling this entire time. You know, we get to a point where all the displays of dishonesty and betrayal that a leader can do to specific groups of people before it just looks like plain disrespect. What is the point of all the military parades, all the fighter jets and funerals, and the MMA matches at the White House just for this image to exist? This trumps everything else. You cannot draw up something more embarrassing, and the fact that all of this is being done just for healthcare to be less accessible is the cherry on top. And that's a certain audaciousness only a rich billionaire kid who grew up disrespecting the help could have, just so his friends could save some money. Even down to the ceasefire, having instrumental plans to make a development so he could possibly get a lick from it. Like, he is using people's struggles to set up a golden parachute. I don't know how many lessons need to be taught to certain parts of America before they understand that you cannot subjugate specific ethnic groups without you ultimately eating shit as well. There is no reality where all black folks get jailed, all Latinos get deported, and all rednecks get rich, because that failed already. And for a reason. You got to keep a certain level of suffering in this country for the rich to even function. That's just the dream they sell you, but that is your enemy. Those who are the reason why we have the highest military budget in the world 10 times over. As conservatives call it valuing the troops, only for many of them to live paycheck to paycheck. The ones who be really reaping be the billionaires cutting the deals. It's a reason why the Pentagon can't pass an audit, because the same people who are regulating them and the chairmen of these companies are playing musical chairs with each other. I truly just hope some of the troops who are newly confused, if that's even possible, that they are collectively normalizing speaking to each other more openly about why it is they're being told to do what they do. I'm sure many of them are, but the fact that ICE is still racked up and conservative states are already pulling them out soon should paint the picture a bit more clear. As a commander-in-chief, there is no bigger failure than leaving your soldiers hungry.
Pride runs deep in the military. Admitting needs feel like defeated. You know, as a soldier, you have been trained to survive, but your survival can't help your family. You being strong ain't helping your family, your mother, your father, your kids. You being who you are as a soldier, it ain't helping anybody else. It's only helping you, because you are the one in the situation, in the shoe. You can understand maybe, but that pride of you not talking about it, it won't help your family. Because I've been trained to stay strong, you know, and I get it. But hunger does not care about ranks. It breaks morale. It breaks dignity. Whenever somebody is hungry, he can't hold a gun. Imagine holding a gun, shooting at the enemy, and you are hungry. You can't even bear that pain. So anybody who has a pride as a military, you should just admit the truth that it's paining you, it's hurting you. It's just, you can't take it anymore, because hunger don't care about ranks. Hunger don't care about who you are. Hunger don't care about a soldier or whatever, a marine, an air force. It breaks the morale of anybody. It breaks the dignity of anyone. Commander apparently encourages troops to seek help, but even they know this isn't suitable or sustainable for them to do that. Go and line with people to get some food to eat. You can't ask people to defend a nation that forgets to feed them. You can't protect somebody who ain't feeding you. Right now, if anybody will give a chance to vote for Trump again, I don't think any white man would try and vote for him. Nobody will try and stand out and go and vote for Trump anymore, because they know who he is and how he have hurt them.
I don't know if it's the mom in me, but I cannot sit back and let people that I know and care about go hungry. Right now, we are in the middle of a government shutdown. The military is not getting paid. I'm blessed enough to be able to have a savings and have an emergency fund. But for some people, especially new people in the military, young people, not at a position where they are able to do that or where they have done that. I have a soldier right now, brand new to the military, been in barely a year, 18 years old, who didn't tell me, maybe because she's too proud, maybe she's nervous, maybe she's scared, whatever the case may be. But she told her battle buddy that she has $3 to her name. The battle buddy came and told me today. And I'm like, I know that there are programs, I know there are things, but in the moment right now, I'm thinking, what can I do to help this soldier? I am going to go to the commissary and get that soldier a gift card to buy groceries. It's Friday. I cannot sit in my house and be wondering, is my soldier going to be able to eat this weekend? Until Monday, when stuff open back up in the banks, and we can try to get her a loan, this and that. So I figure at least with a gift card, she can get some bread, some lunch meat, some cereal and milk, some cup of noodles, and be able to eat. But I just wanted to come on here and let people know that you may have people in your formation to the...
It is the 13th day of the U.S. government shutdown, and here's everything you need to know. First and foremost, Congress is still deadlocked. There's no voting today. The next voting that's going to take place is tomorrow, Tuesday. And this very moment, there is no funding deal, and there is absolutely no compromise. It's almost as though both sides inside the Senate are not talking to each other. We're now getting to a point to where this is starting to hit people hard. We're talking about federal workers and military families. We've gotten to the point to where some military families are going to food banks to get food. Now, Donald Trump did say over the weekend that troops will get paid this week. He announced it on Saturday afternoon, saying that his administration identified funds to cover military paychecks. And where did this money come from? Well, according to Breaking Defense, the Department of Defense is tapping into $8 billion in unused research and development funds. This money is set aside for new weapons, weapons testing, and different kind of technologies, R&D. Trump says that he's using his authority as commander-in-chief to direct Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, to make these payments on October 15th. But this move changes the way that things are done, because it's usually Congress who has to authorize said thing in order for people to get paid. They hold the purse. This time, though, it's directly coming from Trump, which is bypassing, once again, the usual process. Why is this such a major problem? Mostly because we don't know how that's going to affect the Pentagon. New weapons, testing, R&D, is it going to stop certain important programs? Meanwhile, House leaders are essentially saying that there is no reason to compromise. Mike Johnson saying there's no reason to even bring Congress back. Remember, the House is still away right now. The Senate is the one who's working to get some kind of deal done. But as this is all going on, this stalemate is compromising millions of Americans who are watching their bank accounts right now, trying to figure out, where's this money going to come from? And what really honestly upsets me is the fact that we put these people in power to negotiate and compromise and go back and forth so they can make the right decisions to make sure that Americans get what they need. In this very moment, everyone's just being bullish to the point to where, hey, if you guys are going to get things done, why don't we just kick you out and just put someone else new in there so that we can compromise here? Because in the big, beautiful bill, yes, healthcare was essentially gutted. Subsidies were taken out, which is going to increase the rate of everything for everyone. Democrats were trying to stop that hurt from happening, maybe bring it down a little bit so that it's not as bad. Republicans don't want to do that. How about you guys just sit down?
They salute the flag they serve without honor. But today, they are standing on food banks, lying victim of politics, not war. It's better if maybe if Ukraine or Russia could come and bomb their camp, for them to go and line for the food line to get something to eat. But this ain't about war. This is about politics game. They're now victim of politics. If America can afford the missiles, it can afford the meals. Of course it can. If it can afford to pay people who are making those bombs, it can afford food. If it can fund war, it can fund wages. They should just pay them off and let them go. Let them feed the family. This isn't about left or right. This is about right and wrong. I'm your host, Kifa, and this is Global Waters, bringing you the truth they won't show you. Subscribe below. Tell me what you think about the comments. Tell me what you think about a soldier going to line up for food while he's protecting its own country. Soldier saluting his own flag while it can't even help him. He can't feed him or her. Till next time, I'm more than peace. Be with you.